Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid, just going into Bitcoin, big on the CoinsKid. So it's always been my opinion that Bitcoin is in this big ABC correction from last year, okay? I think that this particular post that this guy posted way back in May of this year, someone tagged me in it yesterday, it adds confluence to that fact that I think that the 28k to the 69k that we put in from, I think it was around about May to November last year, was an irregular high. It was a B wave of a big ABC correction that we're in. Okay, so the good news is, if that is true, it means we're in a C wave right now, and C waves do come to an end. So I know a lot of people are saying that we're actually in some kind of big A wave at the moment, which has got 5 waves within it, but I personally think that the top was April 2021, and this particular post that this guy tagged me in yesterday is adding confluence to that. Okay, because this guy here, look, I am dropping the towel. They may came from industry of finance, I come from an industry of cybersecurity. You cross my field. Next time when you want to spoof the market from 28k to 69k for your political lobby, think twice. So basically it's saying that, you know, FTX and SBF, this bad character, bad actor in the space, they spoofed the market to get Bitcoin from 28k to 69k so they can dump on everybody. Okay, and then it's come down obviously, but right now I think personally this particular post, this guy's research proving that, you know, that the 28k to 69k was irregular on low volume and bearish divergence. It was spoofed, and it was basically, it made an irregular high because of manipulation. Do you understand? So that would mean that this particular count that I'm looking at for Bitcoin is actually valid, isn't it? And it means we're actually towards the end of this massive big, huge, heinous, horrible C wave that we're in right now. Okay, so let's take a look. So looking at Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, then you can see that, look at this, you've got this big impulsive move, big corrective move, and then big massive impulsive move, and right now we've got this big massive horrible correction that we're in right now, that, you know, wherever it starts to bottom out, I think that we're just looking for things in the charts before we can get really bullish again going forward for Bitcoin, and kind of confirm that where you've come from is the bottom of the correction basically. And it is one thing, just like this was here. Okay, we're coming down, looking to break it, capitulation, coiled up, broke it, level of consolidation on that level of resistance, boom, confirming the break just there. Same here, running to resistance, coming up, resistance, big dump, came back up to resistance, coiled up, bang, see you later. Okay, and we got that big impulsive move. So I think that we've got a very similar scenario going forward. Wherever we come from at the time when we sort of come up to this resistance, fantastic. But one thing, if we break this resistance in time going forward for Bitcoin, I think you're confirming a massive impulsive move there for Bitcoin. So I'm going to leave this trend line in, because I think that this is actually a trend line right now, just like this was. Look, you got this resistance, broke down, broke it, see you later. We've got this resistance. We wasn't supposed to have that irregular high, in my opinion, for Bitcoin. This was supposed to be your resistance, this trend line, coming up, boom, see you later. Got this level of capitulation, potential end of a C wave right now. Just like this was the end of the C wave, just like this was the end of the C wave, I think we're looking for the end of this C wave. I think we're in this C wave right now. From this top, okay, we're in this C wave. And in my opinion, this B wave here was not supposed to break this resistance. This was done on manipulation, which created that higher high, basically, an irregular high, which actually made a higher high on bearish divergence and low volume. And we can look at the post by that guy, you know, on the manipulation by FTX right there for that particular scenario to be, you know, confirmed basically. So right now it would say to me that whatever this is just simply a C wave, and it's not the beginning of a big monster bear market as a lot of people are calling for from this point. Okay, so we're in this massive C wave now. Usually, like this C wave ended and this C wave ended, you do usually after it come back up to retrace. Okay, so this is the thing I'm looking for, that once we break this red trend line here, this is your confirmation statement from wherever you've come from, your bottom. Okay, your bottom's there, just like I was anticipating here. Like I said to you, if we can coil up and come back up and break this red line, there's your entry point right there. Instead of perfectly timing the bottom, or, you know, catching onto a falling knife, just wait for one thing in the charts here, and it's a break of this red line. And I'm standing by that, because I think that once you see that, you know, in time, and it will come, I think that once you get this break of this resistance, wherever it is, you know, however hard or nasty Bitcoin goes, like I've shown you in yesterday's video, you close above the monthly 10 EMA again, that's your go point. If you break this resistance, that's your go point as well. But in time, I think that we will find resistance on this green line. Okay, and it's going to be an amazing opportunity going forward for a short, for a swing trade, you know, or to even accumulate Bitcoin at home levels. Because if we start to consolidate on the green line, boom, we could be looking at something like this and like this, okay, going forward for Bitcoin. So, you know, I wish I could tell you exactly where the bottom is, but, you know, looking at the structure right now, we have put in 5 waves of potential C wave coming down. So C waves are really nasty. They're really hard to identify the bottom, but you can usually count 5 waves for the bottom. So right now you could say, okay, we've had that big one, that was your 2 into resistance, okay, and then boom, you're 3. Right now you could potentially have had your 4, and right now you're coming down in a final 5th wave. There is all possibilities that this is actually done right here, but I'm not going to call it until we start to see the break of this resistance. That's all I'm looking for before I can jump up and down and tell you the bottom's in, okay. I'm obviously going to try and find where I think Bitcoin will go. We can use Fibonacci, we can use support and resistance. There's a level of resistance that you've melted through without back testing its support. So if we do sort of coil it up and we have one last capitulation, that will kind of make sense to me. You've got this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, boom, break resistance. I'm just looking for the break of that red trend line before I can jump up and down and tell you the bottom's in, okay. So at this point, like I said to you, I don't want to necessarily hold on to a falling knife, because Bitcoin can go anywhere, okay. It can even lose that high, it can start to come down, you know, but it can go anywhere. This is why I don't want to hold on to the potential of falling knife of this C wave, okay. So right now I'm just going to use some Fibonacci to identify a potential target for you. So if we take a look at this, we've got the 1, we've got the 2, okay, and this was a big third wave. Look at that massive powerful third wave confirmed, because you've lost this low, okay. So this was a correction, not an impulsive wave, okay, and right now you're an impulsive wave to the downside. So this was impulsive, this was corrective, this was impulsive, this was corrective, and right now you're in another impulsive move to the downside because you've lost this low. So you can use Fibonacci to sort of lay down predictions and forecasts of where you think the impulsive move is going to go. So what we're going to do is look at this particular wave. This is a 1, this was a 2, and this was a 3. Let's take a look at the third wave and where it went to. I think at the time we did see it go to the 2618, didn't it? It was a very powerful push just there. So we melted, we started to hold support of these supports here, the 1272 initially, the 1414, and then we melted through the golden ratio just there, the 1618, in this big massive impulsive move. Remember, I've always said to you that wave 3s usually get to the 2.272 at a bare minimal because of the power of them. So you can see you actually consolidated there, you wicked through to the 2618, so it was a very powerful third wave right there, confirmed, okay. So right now you've had this wave 4 retracement, and right now you're in a wave 5. So just like this impulsive move there, that was a big impulsive move. Look, you can see you came down, consolidated, boom, wave 1. So this wave 1, this wave 5 here, from this point here, could actually be looking for the same size correction as wave 1, because usually wave 5 is, you know, the same length as wave 1. It's never, the wave 3 is never the shortest. Wave 5 can be the shortest, but wave 3 is never the shortest. Usually, you know, wave 1 is the shortest, but sometimes wave 5 is the shortest because the trend is coming to an end. Do you understand? So this wave 5 could potentially be the same length as wave 1, if not shorter. So let's measure wave 1, okay, the distance that wave 1 came down. So wave 1 was around about a 50, let's take a look at that, 51% correction. So if theoretically this is beginning of wave 5 and we are looking at a 51% correction to match the length of wave 1, we should theoretically be coming down all the way down to 12k. Let me drop that in there, okay, so which is a retest of this high. Do you see that? And that just confirms that, you know, you're putting in the legwork of a wave 1. You're at this point here where you've come down, you're consolidating, and then you dump again. So you come down, you're consolidating, and then you dump again. Potentially failing that, wave 5 here is not as long as wave 1 because the trend is coming to an end. Do you understand? So I wish I could call it. I can't call it, obviously, but I'm just going to use some Fibonacci on this 5th wave for you. So using Fibonacci, I'm just going to lay down a target using Fibs for you, a minimal target I think that we might see Bitcoin get to off this impulsive move to the downside. You can clearly see at the moment what we've got is the loss of this 1 Fib. And like I said to you, you know, you're retracing at this point. If you lose the 1 Fib down here in this retracement, it no longer becomes a retracement. It becomes a reversal wave and an impulsive move, a continuation of this downtrend that you're actually in here for Bitcoin, okay? So looking at this right now, you could say that, okay, this sort of trend is running out of steam, okay, effectively, because we've got this big wave 1, big retracement wave 2, okay, that lasted for a very long time, big massive retracement as well, and just here we've got this big final push down. Well, I say final push, obviously it's not the final push, I was anticipating it was a final push, but big wave 3, sort of shallow wave 4 retracement, and ever since then you've been in this sort of big impulsive move to the downside. So you could effectively say, okay, well, this was a massive push, this was an even bigger push, and right now you sort of running out of steam, basically, you know. So I would love to tell you that the bottom's in on the 1272, because right now you have done everything you need to say that, you know, the final 5th wave's done, and if you coil up here and break this red trend line, amazing, go signal right there for Bitcoin. But if we do start to break down again, I've got levels of support down here that I think that will be retested, okay. So, you know, usually, like I said to you, the minimal target for me is obviously the 1272, but I always like to target the 1618. So right now the 1618 off this potential retracement and then impulsive move to the downside currently sits at 14,288 for Bitcoin, which would see you come all the way down and retest that wave one high potential target right now. Now, failing that, if you do start to break through and we look at a big level of capitulation down here, okay, and Bitcoin fails to coil up here and break this resistance, if we are looking for a consolidation, then another leg down, I think that, you know, if it gets really, really nasty down here, I think that you've got your 2 fib and the 2.272 and this green trend line. So this sort of area right here, I don't necessarily anticipate that Bitcoin's got this big powerful move to the 2618 as it has in this move to the 2618. Okay, obviously anything can happen. This is Bitcoin, you know, it's really volatile, but if it was to get to the 2618, I don't necessarily think that's something that I usually see in 5 waves. Okay, because the sort of trends coming to an end, it's getting exhausted basically. So you got this 1 big impulsive move, 2 corrective move, big 3, 4, and right now you're sort of in this sort of depleting final phase here of a C wave where you're running out of steam in this downtrend. When it bottoms, you're going to start to coil up, break this red trend line. Fantastic area, okay, to go along, like I've said to you many times. So, you know, we are really close here. I wish I could jump up and down and say this is the bottom, the 1272, it's the bottom, but I can't. You know, I am targeting right now the 1618 at a bare minimal as a retest. If we start to coil up here, we get another little push down, we could see some kind of V-shape off that, you know, going up there for Bitcoin. So hope you enjoyed that update. All eyes on, you know, the next few weeks here for Bitcoin. We're leading towards the end of the year. Like I said to you, there's a bit of a crossroads there in December, isn't there, on the golden ratio right there. There's a potential target on this green line. So for me, you know, I'm not going to call it. I'm going to call it when we break this red line. Okay, if we do something like that, break that red line, for me, I'll begin to tell you that the bottom's in. Equally, just there is a bit of a trend line that will begin to emerge for Bitcoin. If we take a look at this, this is your level of resistance of this final 5th wave. Okay, so if you break this resistance going forward, you know, wherever it is in time, we know if it's down here, does something like that, breaks it, or it starts to come up right now and breaks it. For me, that's a precursor to the fact that you're going to break this red line, and it could be a precursor to the fact that you're confirming the bottom as well going forward for Bitcoin. So you understand that update. Your targets are right now the 1272, it's finding support. You've got the 1414 at 15343 and the 1618 at 14288. I wish everyone the utmost luck, okay, and hopefully this is the end of the C wave, and we've got this final 5th wave that we're in right now, and you can clearly see that we are kind of running out of steam right now, and we're looking to bottom out somewhere. Okay, hope you enjoyed that update. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. Take care everyone. Back to another update on Bitcoin. Bye bye.